Right. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the WTCF podcast. It's Charlie here, hanging out in the basement, and wanted to go ahead and talk about the intention from last week. And maybe this is something that helps you. So, the intention last week was around the quote every time someone steps up and shows or says who they really are, the world becomes a better, more interesting place. And the quote actually comes from the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So it's said by Captain Holt, played by Andre Brower, who passed away in December. So it's a fantastic show. If you've never had a chance to go ahead and see it, incredibly well thought out for what it could be. And sadly, the guy's going to be missed. I think he played a great character. And what I thought was really interesting about the quote was he's having a conversation with Rosa Diaz, played by Stephanie Beatrix. If I pronounce her name wrong, whatever. Rosa. So he's talking with Rosa, who had just come out to her parents that she's bisexual. And he says this as an attempt to say, hey, the world becomes better when you're your authentic self, essentially. And I really like that. And the idea, even for the character, for Stephanie to actually turn out to be bisexual, and they wrote it into the character of Rosa to help Stephanie kind of help her process that and be able to normalize some of the things within herself. So it's a very, very awesome scene. If you have not had a chance to go ahead and see it. But I wanted to kind of reflect on that a little bit more about being your authentic self and what that really means. So a lot of times we play a lot of different roles as we go through life. We have to wear a bunch of different caps and we have to pretend to be a bunch of different people. And sometimes it can be really difficult on our own psyche to play parts that we're not accustomed to, especially if it makes us really uncomfortable to be there. When we're not allowed to be our authentic self, it can be incredibly damaging to our own psyche about who we want to become, and it can develop additional insecurities or other mental problems for ourselves if we can't be who we are. So I got my article up on the side over here so I can kind of just kind of take notes of some things that are here and hopefully go get through this pretty quickly. Again, being authentic does mean that we're going to start to embrace the imperfections and vulnerabilities within ourselves. I think social media has done a lot to kind of deter our ability to really be our authentic self. We usually love to show the highlights of all the wonderful things that we're going through, and then we kind of feel shamed when something bad happens. We won't post or talk about those things, so we kind of hide them. So the idea is that your authentic self is going to have problems, and you're going to have to be vulnerable, and you're going to be imperfect. Like I can go ahead and look and say that my teeth are a little bit screwed up, or I know I have a crookedy ass toe, or sometimes my weight will fluctuate a little bit. It's gotten way better than it has in the past, but I kind of recognize and hold myself accountable to some of the things that I can change and some of the things that I can't. It's part of who I am. And it's really good that I get to be my authentic self. So just want to go ahead and start by that one. Um, True authenticity lies in having the courage to speak our truths. So being able to be a person who goes out there and starts to, speak about their authenticity, it takes a lot of courage to go ahead and do that. A lot of us will be scared to go ahead and say the type of person that we are. What I thought was weird for a very long time of my own journey is once I started getting into yoga and teaching that one, a lot of my other friends thought I was gay because I was a straight man teaching yoga. Like gay people do that. Like my father has called me gay for a very long time. My brother is actually gay, and my dad will make fun of me thinking that for me going gardening or liking a musical or growing plants are all gay things. I was like, that's just who I am. I like these things. My hair grew out for a little bit. Whatever. I didn't have money to go get a haircut for a bit, and I finally did. So whatever's whatever. I had my fingernails painted because my niece asked me to paint my nails. Why would like none of that stuff bothers me? So when people want to go ahead and start to insinuate of like what kind of person I am, I just kind of laugh and it's like I really don't care because I kind of have an idea of who I am and what I'm trying to do here. Um, Again, it also allows us to be authentic to celebrate more of like the human spirit of everybody else living their own lives. So even this week, on a new intention, um, I've been sharing this for maybe the last 2 weeks now. I've been sharing that people who come in for an hour, I only get to spend 4% of the day with them. So 1/24th is 4%. So you only get so much time that you can spend. But then it's like there's 96% of other people's lives that I'll never see. And I think it's really interesting to go ahead and share those things. I'm going to take a quick pause here. I have a phone call and then I'm going to jump right back on. So sorry for the little blip. We'll come right back. All right, wonderful. So back to my other point, like, well, the world has so many interesting and different people in it. So being able to celebrate the diversity of other people's lives. So I think I was on the point of like, only sharing 4% of somebody's day with them and not understanding the other 96% of it. And kind of recognizing there's a lot of life there that I'll never get to see. And I think it's kind of interesting to think about. Um, again, you can think of authenticity. Um, again, trying to get myself resettled in. Now, authenticity is this glue that binds genuine connection. You can usually tell when somebody's being real and authentic self. It's one of the things I learned from some of my other yoga training in the past about kind of how to speak to my authentic self. And I've kind of been using that and developing that over the years. A lot of the stuff during COVID of being able to sit down and reading a lot more and understanding a lot more things about like stoicism, which helped me out a whole lot of like what kind of a person do I want to be. So there's a Marcus Aurelius quote that comes back to me all the time. It's like, don't ask what a good man is, be one. So it becomes a little bit more authentic to me. Um, and when you're your true self, you can actually help inspire other people to do great things. When people see you behaving as yourself, the way that you really wish to be seen, um, it helps. It helps other people step up and say, "Hey, well, if they can do it, so can I." So I just want to be able to kind of cover some of those things in the memory of Andre Brower, and just to circle back around is every time that you step up and say who you are, the world becomes a better, more interesting place. So go be your authentic self. Go live and do some other cool stuff. And on that note, good luck.